Hello, Divine Masculines. This is going to be the first video of its kind, as far as any videos that I've made anyway. I just wanted to have like a heart-to-heart with you guys because you're starting to come to me now, and you guys are starting to seek out guidance and outside of your family and friend circle. And it's so beautiful and it's so moving to see what you guys are going through. But at the same time, you guys are going through so much that I felt you guys could use the support. So first of all, I think I'll start by explaining exactly what I mean by divine masculine, because a lot of you are just coming into this journey and not realizing what the heck is going on. So in the twin flame and or true love realm, when two people meet, everybody has, and they all have masculine energy and feminine energy. But what happens is two compatible people meet, and it's really playful, sweet, trusting, kind. It kind of blows your mind. It's real innocent. It's real sweet when you guys first meet. Your hearts open completely wide, and you just receive each other, and it's super honest and maybe you open up in such a way that you've never opened up to someone before, or they just kind of shake you up a little bit. And what happens is the masculine one, which would be you if you are one, kind of gets scared, wants to run and hide in the familiar. Sometimes you'll stick your head in the sand and say, this isn't happening, because if it's happening, it means that your whole world is going to change. And that's actually how you know when you found true love, honestly, is because you are scared of it. You're scared of it, and you know that it would change your whole world, either internally or externally. There are lots of things that the masculine has to get over. For one, their egoic ideas of, dude, I need to put my phone somewhere else right now. Nobody should be calling me right now anyway. I mean, you know what I mean. Not interrupting us. So basically, it's like, I don't know, it makes you question everything. It really, there's usually, age differences to get over, or racial differences, or religious differences, or distance. I know a lot of true love couples who are in opposite ends of the world, and they don't know how in the world they're ever supposed to make that happen. Or some people have STDs and they're really scared to tell the other person. Maybe they have kids and maybe they have been hiding it. There's usually secrets involved. And what the masculine does is they run toward what's familiar, like I said, and they start to date karmic partners. And karmic partners, what they're there for is they're there to entice the masculine, tempt them, and lure them in with, oh, I'm the same religion. Oh, I'm really pretty. Oh, I look like this, or I would be something your parents would approve of, or I would really boost your ego, and I would, whatever, light up your world in whatever way. It's not going to feel like that person that you met initially, though. That true love person is going to have a totally different resonance and feel altogether. And your true love is going to be somebody that you continuously remember and continuously compare these other people to. And what happens is you become more and more certain the more you date these karmic people who teach you lessons, and you get burned by the karmic people. And this is just a pattern that I've seen. This is just what I've seen time and time and time again. And you could look into history. For many, many years, this has gone on. And and a lot of times the masculine also hides in addictions, buries their head in addictions, drinking, whatever they can to kind of run away from their feminine. And their feminine, she's usually more mature. She's usually more ready for a relationship. And she's usually pretty evolved. Not that you guys aren't, but you guys aren't to the point that they are yet. So there's going to be a feeling of unworthiness, and there's going to be she's so much more mature than I am, or so so much better than me. She should just go out and find somebody else. She's going to anyway. So I may as well just kind of really hurt her and push her away from me, because I don't want to be the one that falls for her and then ends up getting hurt. So they get, the masculines get really, really guarded when it comes to love, and they're so scared to be hurt again. So the unfortunate thing is, though, that they don't open their hearts. It takes them a while to get to the point where they'll even acknowledge how they feel for their feminines. And in the meantime, it's really great for the feminines to go through, because they have to deal with their abandonment issues. Also, the masculine deals with issues with their mother usually. They are dealing with issues with their mom more often than not. That's not necessarily always the case, but I would say most of the masculines deal with like mother issues. And what that means is they were brought up where their mother picked on them a lot, or told them what to do, or held them under their thumb, or told them they weren't good enough, or maybe tricked them a lot, or manipulated them, or, you name it. And the masculine was kind of burned by her and kind of had that idea of what women are like, unfortunately. So they need to heal that in order to, make peace with maybe coming into a healthy relationship. So basically where we're at in this stage of the game, however, though, as a collective, for those still in separation, which are the ones that I'm tuning into right now and the ones that are coming to me, has been miraculous and beautiful. These masculines are actually starting to learn to tap into their intuition. You guys are starting to get curious about things that were normally outside of your scope, outside your comfort level. You're starting to broaden your horizon. You're starting to see things from a different perspective. You're experiencing maybe a lot of fear and anxiety as to which path to take or which direction to go in, and a lot of uncertainty, but you're learning to use your intuition to navigate that. And you're also seeing a lot of signs and synchronicities. And the other side, meaning your spirit guides and angels and things like that, the ones that I talk to on my show and stuff, those guys are really rallying for you. They're really proud of you. I feel them. It's like they're so proud of you guys for making the changes that you're making. You're starting to become less materialistic. You're starting to think maybe work isn't the number one priority. It still can be a priority, obviously, but I think love's pretty darn important. And I think feeling supported and coming home to somebody who can be there for me and talk to me on a level that's deep and understanding and supportive and loving is important for my career. It's important for me to step into my power as a leader and as a king, to have this type of love behind me. So whether I deserve it or not is becoming a non-issue. You know what I mean? They're starting to see that it's not even about deserving. It's not about, it's like if you really come down to the real root of it all, everything that you believe about what you're worthy of, or that you might fail at, or any of those types of thoughts, they've just been programmed into you by people outside of yourself. And the guilt that you've given to yourself because of what other people have said to you, it's really wonky and it's really kind of messed up. And it's really it's all your ego. If you haven't read New Earth by Eckhart Tolle, I would definitely read that, because it talks all about the ego and what the ego feeds off of in us. And at this stage, the masculines are kind of waking up to that. They're like, wait a minute, I've been disillusioned. I've been tricked here. And it's not been by my divine feminine. She's actually my truth. What's true is love. What's true is support. What's true is encouragement. What's true is humor. What's true is funny, and what's true is light. Light as in not heavy. If it's heavy, it's probably a lie. And I say that because when you believe stressful thoughts, that's really, everything is essentially neutral. One masculine came to see me yesterday, and she was you can be a female or male, so it doesn't even matter which gender you are. you start off on the journey as being one or the other. It doesn't matter, but it's basically the masculine one runs away and hides, and the feminine one kind of chases for a while till she kind of smartens up and realizes this has obviously triggered something in her she needs to heal, and so she pulls back and uses it to mature further. But anyway, this female masculine came to me yesterday. And she was like, these affirmations and all of this positive thinking crap is just a bunch of BS, and it's just fake, and it's this and that. And I remember going through that stage. I remember when I first started trying it, it didn't work on me either. And I thought it was really stupid too. I really did. And what I came to realize was that I was in a victim mentality. And when you're in a victim mentality, you're stuck. You really can't do anything to advance. And you can't really see clearly either. When you're stressed out and when you're thinking too much and when your head is blocked with what ifs and all but this could go wrong and that could go wrong, but we don't live near each other, but we don't this, but what if she finds out that, or what if, all the what ifs, if your brain is going like that, you're not going to be thinking straight. You're not going to be thinking things, you're not going to be seeing things clearly, because seeing things clearly involves like a certain degree of neutrality, a certain degree of detachment, a certain degree of wisdom. You have to be able to kind of pull back away from your life and look at it from like a bird's eye perspective. None of this roller coaster stuff. I don't know why I can't talk today. But it's like, if life is taking you through this, I believe, I don't believe, I believe, I don't believe, I believe, if 1 minute you're like high because something great happened, the next minute you're demolished because whatever happened, then you don't got it yet. You don't get it yet. You don't get the way life works yet, because everything is neutral. And it takes a while to train your brain. You retrain your brain to not buy into the belief that it is wonky like that. So this gal was like, well, these affirmations aren't working, all this stuff, it's just, and she's crying and she was so upset, like everything's failed me, everything that I wanted to happen isn't happening. And she was so upset. And I just said, I think that affirmations have actually been happening, and that's why everything is falling apart. And she was like, I don't know if I want to buy into that. And I could just like see the ego in her going, no, don't buy into this anymore. Look where it's gotten you. And it's just like, I kind of almost wanted to laugh a little bit, not laugh out of not having compassion, but laugh in knowing that it's all actually working out for her and she doesn't even know. So I explained to her that, if she stays in this victim mentality, no matter what amount of affirmation she uses or tries to turn things around, she's just going to be seeing it from a perspective of this is just a trick. And she's going to be in that distrusting place. And many of you masculines, because you've been burned so bad, are in that distrustful place. But with that exercise that I teach you guys, thank you, God, for my misery, it really is something that will train your brain to see the truth. Because in every negative thing, everything that you see as being negative or stressful, there's actually a benefit or an advantage or a really positive reason it's happening, or it wouldn't be happening. God or the universe does not hurt us or punish us or get back at us. Yes, it teaches us lessons, but it's not trying to kick you in the stomach a million times just to leave you on the ground feeling like an idiot, forever believing, we're not in a cruel world. And I know that a lot of people kind of buy into that concept that it is, and I've been there. I totally get it. I mean, I've been in the mindset of feeling like life is totally against me. Like, what the heck? Am I just abandoned? Did God just like forget that I exist or something? And like, or, then I've been where I'm at now. And even now, like I'll get little tests and things and I have to be discerning because I'm like hyper alert. Something will happen to me and I'll say, okay. Oh, and then I'll remind myself of the new belief or the way I look at it different than I used to look at it. And I can snap right out of it. It might take an hour or two tops, usually. So I can get through things a lot quicker because I've practiced this mechanism of being able to see the good in the bad. So in the exercise, in case you're curious at this point, is just taking a piece of paper and writing at the top of it. Like sit down for an hour, light a candle, get it quiet in the room, and don't be interrupted. And then you just write at the top of it, thank you, God, that I can't make a decision right now. And then you write all, like at least 10 or 15 reasons that that's a benefit or an advantage in your life. And then you flip the page over and you say, thank you, God, that I don't feel like I have enough money. And then you write down all the benefits and advantages as to why that's a good thing. And then you go to the next thing. Thank you, God, that I don't feel worthy of her or him. Then you write down the advantages and benefits as to why that's a really good thing. After you've done the exercise quite a few times, if you take an hour to do it, one issue after another, it kind of dawns on you just how supported you are by the other side. And in fact, it might just blow your mind how all of these things that you thought went wrong were actually working out for you. So this woman that was freaking out over the possibility, she hadn't even lost her job, but it was a possibility she could. And so I tried to encourage her. I was like, write it down. Let's go through it right now. Why is that a good thing? You know? And she starts looking at it and she's just like, whoa. But then her ego starts kicking in again. So your ego will fight you every step of the way. It'll try to come up with a shortcut. Oh, that's just trying to look at the rosy side of life. It'll try to get you to do everything because your ego wants to stay alive and control you and keep you freaking out. But I'm here as the voice of reason, the voice of calmness, the voice of having been through where you're at. And I'm on the other side of it saying, don't believe your ego. Commit to writing the exercise down and doing it. Trust me, your heart will be transformed. Your heart will be lifted. You will feel so much better. And a lot of you are also so afraid to fail. It's like if I take a really big risk, because I have before, what if I fail? I let my family down. Then nobody believes in me anymore. And the decisions I make are always going to be questioned, or I'm going to be given a hard time, or someone's going to say, I told you so. The list goes on, right? But can you really live that way? You're just going to get smaller and smaller and smaller in who you are. You're just going to shrink until you're nothing. You're just like a little raisin of a person. And all because you listen to so many different people around you who are trying to keep you down just because they can't make something of their lives that they want. If you really want to listen to somebody who inspires you, who excites you, somebody that you've seen proof and evidence in their life that they're actually happy, not pretending to be happy, but they're really happy. They laugh a lot. They giggle a lot. They have a great sense of humor. They're light. They don't judge. Life is like a playground to them. Listen to those people. That's who you listen to. And listen to your heart. Listen to your intuition. I'm going to share an exercise with you guys to learn how to listen to your intuition if you want. And it's just a kind of a fun, creative way that you can get in that space that will help you kind of get your feet wet with it. I can't take credit for making this exercise, but, it's probably been watered down through so many different versions anyway that it's probably my own thing by now. But basically, what you can do is you can use the example of a clock, or you could use just about anything. So don't be like, this is one thing about the masculines too, about you guys. You're like, I need everything step by step exactly as it should go, because there's like a cookie cutter way of doing everything that ensures success. That's not true. What ensures success is you listening to your intuition. That's why it's really important to get there. And I mean listening to your intuition without fear. It's like when you're intuitively drawn to do something, do it. Act on it right in that moment. When you learn to do that, dang, you're going to go far. Seriously. And I'm talking like when I was told to come to Boulder, I had no reason to come. Everybody thought, oh, what are you, in love with somebody over there? I thought, no, I don't even know anybody there. And they didn't believe me. And I was like, I'm just being told to go, so I'm going. And it's just been the best thing that's ever happened to me because I listened and I wasn't afraid. And I had a really nice apartment that I really loved. It was in a perfect location. My business was going great. You can just imagine the things that I could have feared, that I would have been like, I'm going to lose all my business. I'm going to lose all my support, all of this network that I have here. that's not, I would move again in a heartbeat, if spirit moved me to do that. And I wouldn't hesitate at all, because it can happen all over again. And everything, if you can even start to look at everything negative happening to you is a good thing, then what can stop you? You become completely unstoppable. Okay, so here's the exercise. Sorry, I'm talking like a girl. You guys probably don't like that, but so all right. So the exercise, whoever's it is like you imagine, like, you go to bed early, shut off the TV or whatever, especially if it's the news, shut the dang thing off, because that's just feeding your mind with negativity. Anything that you watch that's making you afraid, it's like, no, it's not going to give you a heads up. It's going to just freak you out, period. It's going to engage your ego, and your ego is just going to keep you in this hamster cage, getting absolutely nowhere, which is exactly what it wants, because you're not going to get anywhere. And if you don't get anywhere, then you constantly need it. Anyway. All right, so take a clock. Picture a clock when you go to bed. Just like lean up against the wall with your pillows or whatever in bed. Use a diary just for this purpose, so that you can keep track, and you can go back into the past, and you can take a look at what actually came true, and like build your confidence in your abilities. But basically, you take out this diary, and you can have a specific intention if you want to, like who would be the best partner for me? What would be the best place to live? What should I write my book about? Whatever that is, like, sit down and then you picture a clock. It's simple enough. You picture a clock in front of you, and then you picture the middle of the clock being completely just open space. Then you ask, or then you call in, and this does not have to be particular. You can do it any way you want to. Something to the effect of, I call in my divine guidance council, or God, or Jesus, or the angels, or any beings that are here that love me unconditionally and truly want me to succeed and find true love in a fulfilling, happy life. I want you all to be here to give me very precise, specific, helpful information that is undeniable. I want the truth, the ultimate truth of all truths, and I want beings to come forward who are only positive and supportive of my journey. Then you could even imagine your room being filled up with a bright white light, maybe seeing little gold speckles or little fairy dust. Fairy dust is usually like rainbow colors, or super fine, or silver. Those are all good to use. Good energies. Purple is really good too. I just heard one of you say purple. So basically, you just sit down and you say, okay, who's at 1 o'clock? And then you just quiet your mind and just wait for a moment and see if anything materializes. It could be a word. It could be a phrase. It could be a song pops in your head. It could be a cat, a rock. It doesn't matter. It could be anything at all. Anything at all. But just whatever that is, write it down. And if nothing appears, that's okay too. Then you ask, okay, what's at 2 o'clock? Who's at 2 o'clock? And what do you have to say? And then you move to 3 o'clock. Okay, what do you have to say? And I honestly had, this is like my own personal story on my journey with my divine masculine. I had the word Esther come through, and I thought, Esther Hicks, because I'm all about the law of attraction. I'm certified in the law of attraction even. So I was like, well, that made so much sense. That would be Esther Hicks, right? So I said, is this Esther Hicks? And I put a yes or a no, and then it was like, no. And I thought, I don't know anybody named Esther. So I was really thinking about it. And then I went, oh, I said, Esther from the Bible? And they were like, yes. Or she was like, yes. So this is Esther from the Bible. Yeah. I said, I don't know anything about you. She's like, that's okay. And I said, well, what do you want to tell me? And she says, I just wanted to let you know that you're masculine. You guys were back in the time. Oh, it's like back in biblical times. I was the neighbor girl, and my masculine was her son, and we were very best friends. And so I said, okay, what about it? And she says, he's very stubborn. And I said, I don't know him to be stubborn. I don't even know him very well. She said, he's stubborn, and you know how to deal with him. And only you were the only one who knew how to get through that stubbornness. And I thought, well, that's interesting. I have no idea what she's talking about. And then she said, he is my only son, and I love him with all my heart. And she says, I think you guys would be really good for each other, and I want you guys to finally be together. And so I just was like, okay. And I don't even think I went with the rest of the way around the clock, because that was enough information that I was just like, okay, now I'm curious. And I think I ended the session, which you can do at any point. I've had where just one thing comes through, or I see like a word written or something like that. But anyway, so my masculine is a marathon runner, and which I don't know that many of people who run marathons. My dad ran marathons as a kid. But he's like the only other person that I can think of that runs marathons, and I'm in a town full of it. But so when I did some research on Esther in the Bible, I found out that her son, that she truly did only have one son, and I knew nothing about this when I did the research. Then I looked back further into his history when I found out like his name and what he did. He was a ruler, and he was like conquering countries and doing all this incredible stuff. And he actually ended up, when I did the research on it, you guys aren't going to believe this, but because of a battle that he was about to get engaged in at some point in the history, and I don't even like history, I don't even get into history at all. But there was, if you look up how the word marathon was termed, it involves him. He actually was a part of that word being created in our history. So yeah, chills, right? It's like, what? So that's the type of stuff that comes through though. And again, I didn't know that he was a stubborn person, because I didn't even really know him that well at that time. But then, as time has gone on, I'm like, he's pretty damn stubborn. He's really stubborn. I don't have a clue on how to deal with it. Maybe I am dealing with it. I don't know. I don't have any idea. And I haven't really been able to, I'm always asking her, like, Esther, come back. Like, what the heck? What's happening? I really don't feel like I'm doing anything that's helping his stubbornness. But that's another thing. But you can always look back on the diary and read about it and see, 2 months ago I thought that, or I felt that, or I said that, and it'll really boost your confidence. So you got to be just super open-minded and willing to explore, anything that comes to you. It'll really help. Any way that you can quiet your mind, you're going to have an advantage, and it's going to help you get ahead. And I will tell you too, if you follow the path of true love, which the universe wants the masculines to do, because the masculines truly need to fall into, take the energy from their head to their heart. They need to learn to not shut out the logic, but, bring the logic into the heart. Think in terms of thinking from your heart instead of from here, but pulling this energy down and thinking from here. So it combines the two. But life is all about trying to get the masculine to bring his guard down and come forward with his heart. And when he does that, you would not even believe, and I've seen it so many times, that both of them are tremendously blessed financially, in every way you can imagine. Doors just fly open, opportunities just happen, things just magically occur. So one of the problems is that a lot of masculines think that things are going to work out like they did with the karmic partners, and that's just not true. The karmics are there to train you. They're there to hurt you. They're there to trigger you. And yes, your feminines will trigger you also, unless you find a soulmate. Those are pretty easy relationships. But if you have a high vibe soulmate that's more like a soul flame or something like that, that's closer to a twin flame, you're gonna get triggered with that. But basically, it's like the triggering is different, because when you get triggered, you're able to actually talk about it and talk it through, and your egos aren't so engaged. You're not going to be fighting about it. It's just going to be more here, this is what I felt, this is what I thought. And the other one's going to actually care and say, let me think about that and what we could do. It's so much more mature and easy. And you guys will be held apart from each other in this separation phase until the universe knows that you're both ready to kind of be at that level, to be able to communicate real clearly and lovingly to each other. But the masculine, one of the masculine's challenges is that he's got to drop what's happened with the karmic completely and be grateful. Do one of those exercises on all these different girls of your past, or guys if you're a female, but just list, thank you God that she betrayed me. Thank you God that she cheated on me. Thank you God that she didn't turn out to be what I thought she was. Thank you God that she took off with all my money. Thank you God that, you know what I mean? List all that out and all the benefits and advantages as to why that happened. Do not keep yourself in a low vibrational state. And that's what I told that masculine yesterday. I was like, do not let life suck you down. Life has course corrected you. It's shaken up your world to like annihilate you and get your life totally clear the slate so that you can then clean it up and make it what you really want. With all this fabulous experience behind you now, you know how to communicate better. You know how to be more clear. You know how to be more authentic. You know what you truly want more now than you ever did. A lot of you just went through a breakup, but don't dwell on the pain of it. My gosh, like just be like, thank you. Thank you for these incredible lessons, and get back to a high vibrational state. And you'll find yourself with your divine feminine quicker than you think. Because she's ready and she's raring to go, and this is union time. A lot of people are coming into, and when I say union, I mean like actually, it could be you decide to be friends with your twin flame, and it could be that you guys are just going to get on good terms and you're able to laugh with each other and things are easy, and you guys can just always be there to support each other. It doesn't have to be. I mean, it's like designed to be romantic, but at some point, if the divine masculine, and it's usually the divine masculine who says no first, just because like he has free will and he's usually the one who's more scared. So if they have given up their rights to their inheritance as a twin flame, that's fine, but it does feel better if the twin flames can stay friends. Anyway, so if that happens, then the soulmate can then, I totally lost my thought there. But anyway, just like you can get in a good place with whether it's your twin flame or your soulmate or whatever, you can get in so much better of a place if you can just heal and start communicating. Oh, union. Union is when you're actually just kind of in a good place and you've got reciprocation going on. You can talk, you can communicate, you can say, hey, how you doing? And both of you can kind of be open with each other and authentic with each other. So that's what I consider to be union. It's just like there's peace there. When you think about that person, there's either resolution there or you feel good about it somehow. It's healed, and it's like either going forward because you guys decide you want to be together, or it's like, I feel good about you now, and I feel good about where, what we've been through. We've healed from some stuff in the past. We've forgiven each other. We've put it all behind us, and now we're going forward. That's union to me. Making peace with it. Okay, so I wrote some things down to make sure that I am going to be talking about. So meditating, using affirmations, one of the affirmations you can use, especially if you're going to be like making a major change, you can just say, I am so completely loved and supported in all ways and always. I feel like I've won the lottery in every area of my life. Gosh. Thank you so much for all the options. Thank you so much for all the incredible opportunities being brought to me. And feel it with all the belief you can come up with and muster. Self-esteem thing. There are going to be ways that you feel insecure or not worthy, but same with her. So don't worry about it. You got, it's like that. Here's the thing about true love. And I don't care about soulmate or twin flame, whichever. You guys have had a lot of past lives together. And in these past lives, you guys, sometimes there's been like a ton of pain that will make you really, really scared of getting involved with them again. Because they've either chosen the other guy or, continuously over and over and over, whenever it comes down to those two guys, they always choose the other one. But there's always a chance for something to change in that dynamic. But so there's past life stuff, and there's all of this rich history that's there, all this love that's already been had for many, many, many lifetimes. They're not going to be all concerned like you think. I mean, you could seriously show up on her doorstep muddied head to toe with your hair completely messed up, wearing the worst outfit you could possibly think of, and with no money at all. And it doesn't even matter. You could be limping. You could have lost a leg. I don't even care what it is. This person is wired to love you. It's what destiny and fate is all about. And I've seen it a lot. Sometimes I've looked at some of these twin flame couples and I can't believe they're together. I'm just like, how did this happen? But they love the hell out of each other and they're like so happy and blissed out. And I'm just like, okay, that just proves it, It's like I would never have thought. I even talked to this feminine yesterday. It was so funny. She was trying to see if do you just fluff things up in these readings and whatnot? She just tells me all she just got skeptical because she was told by this other psychic it's never going to work with your masculine. So she was so scared and she was like, oh my gosh, Amy, have you just been telling me all good things? And I'm like, no, I would tell it to you straight. She's like, well, all of this stuff about us being together and all this stuff. And I said, look, here's how honest I am. I was like, I don't believe in you guys. I think you're crazy. I think he's super hot and I don't know, I don't see how this could even this doesn't all the differences and everything that I know and what I know about her. And I'm just like, I personally, as the person, Amy, I'm just like, you're crazy. And she just what? She's laughing. And I said, really, I feel the same way you do because she's really insecure about it. And I was like, I'd be just as insecure as you. I wouldn't know, I wouldn't believe it for a second. But what I've been telling you is coming from my intuition. That's what I listen to. And I look at the cards. And the cards will tell you it's divine guidance. It is like your angels and everybody trying to communicate. Look, there is massive potential here. This is a strong connection. This goes way back and they will love each other. That's what I put my faith in, is my intuition and what my divine guidance is, period. So I told her, I said, that's how unbiased I am. I don't use this. I use this and I use that. So, and I'll tell it to you straight. And I've told plenty of people, no, that's not the right person. Or I've said, you need to leave that person you're with. Or I've said, he's not even paying any attention to you. He's facing the other direction. I would not waste my time with that guy. So, let's see here. A lot of these guys have told me that they're just kind of waiting. They're like, I've been waiting. And I'm like, waiting for what? I don't know, just waiting. And I'm like, what? You can't stay in that waiting space for long. It's like your woman's going to move on. And the divine feminines, they are getting options right now. You guys got to get your stuff together and figure this out pretty quick. And you will, and you are. And it looks like a lot of relationships are going to come together in March or April. So that's exciting. I've just felt you guys get so nervous about that. As I do these videos, it's so funny because I could feel your reaction to it. If that scares you, try to look at anxiety a different way too. See anxiety as the opposite of excitement, or as the same thing as excitement. It's like two sides of the same coin. So instead of saying, I'm so scared of that, or I'm so I have so much anxiety about that, just be like, I am so excited about that. I am so excited about that. Start thinking in terms of possibilities and potential rather than self-defeating thoughts and behaviors and actions. Try to stay really in the moment because that's when you're going to get the best guidance. Learn to almost get have you ever been worked on a car or been watching football or done something to where that's all consuming and you forget about all time and space? That's the energy you actually want to be in. You want to be there because that's when you'll get intuitive hits that come to you. Use every negative thing that's happened in your past to fuel you for better now. Also, the eclipse energy, just so you guys know, it's been really intense. It's not just you. And sometimes when you're feeling emotions that don't seem to describe exactly where you're at, you could be feeling your feminines. So learn to differentiate and discern between her energy and yours. And send her love, send her love. Send her a blessing or pray for her or something like that and see if it lifts. If you pray about it, like, oh, I think that's my feminine, like, again, put them side by side. Is it me or is it my feminine that's feeling this way? You can go, oh, it's her. And then you can pray for her. And then if the feeling lifts completely off of you, guess what? That's just confirmation that was her. But anyway, the eclipse is all about like taking away all the falsehoods in your life. Any way that you're being fake or denying yourself pleasure or denying yourself true happiness or denying yourself true love or whatever it is, and whoever's holding you back and whatever dynamic is keeping you stuck where you are instead of advancing forward, all that's getting demolished right now so that you can be like the phoenix rising from the ashes, like I said, and have a clean slate and start and have things the way that you want them. But that's what this eclipse is about. And you might be tired. You might be tired. You might have an upset stomach. I mean, there are all kinds of like symptoms of that. You can look that up or Google it or YouTube it or something like that if you want. Do past life regressions. One of the ways that you can do that, and I know I'm like saying it like it's easy and maybe it's not so much for you right now. Okay. Just try. Like a lot of our resistance to not looking into a past life is the fear of seeing these tragic scenes. But I love going back to stuff that's happened. Like, okay, so I had this past life with someone and we were arguing and he was playing around with a friend's gun. It wasn't even his gun. And he doesn't even like, he didn't even know about guns hardly. But we were arguing and he's like, he was like saying like, shut up or I'll shut you up or something. He was being kind of funny, but also kind of mad and wishing I would just shut up. And he put the gun to me and it accidentally went off and killed me. For example, those are the types of scenes that you go into when you kind of sit to meditate and you ask your guides, show me what our history's been. If they're going to show you something negative because that's what's like almost a subconscious blockage between you guys sometimes. But you can go into that moment and you can make it different, put a positive ending on it. And you can literally change your entire history. If you go back into past lives with your parents or even current life situations, go back to when you were molested. It didn't happen. Go back to, and this isn't denial. Everything is energetic. You can recreate your entire past. You can rewire and change the whole thing, and you will feel different about everything in your past. But in this example, what I did was I thought, okay, how can I rectify this situation? Because I think it made him commit suicide. I think, he was just, we were both shocked that it happened, obviously, and he couldn't live with himself after that. So what I did was I went back and I thought, okay, I'm going to put a bulletproof vest on because I know that he's such a goofball that if he's playing around with a gun today, he might do something stupid. So I put a bulletproof vest on. And when he did it, we both went through the shock of it happening. But then I kind of looked at him and I started laughing and I was like, I put in a bulletproof vest. And he was like, oh my God, oh my God, you gave me the scare of my life. Like I thought that, oh my God. And he just was so relieved. And he was like, I will never speak to you like that again. I will never let something like that happen again. I will do anything that I can to learn how to communicate effectively so we don't fight like that or escalate things like that anymore. And it was amazing. And then we were so grateful and we just loved each other so much after that. And we became real close. And I would imagine now, I'm not with him at this time, but I would imagine now we would probably be super respectful of each other in conversations. We'd probably be real careful about what we say because of that past life. So isn't that beautiful? But you can change the history. But anyway, it's pretty simple. It's pretty easy. We try to make it some big woo-woo thing that we can't do ourselves, but we totally can, and you totally can. Just sit quietly and ask your guides, please show me something that needs to be healed in my past life with this person. And then you'll get a picture of what's happened. I mean, I could go on for probably 2 hours about some really amazing past lives that I've been through with people and what I've done to fix those situations and how it's affected things. So, All right, the people-pleasing thing. You can only go so long in life being the martyr and being like, woe is me, I can't do anything because so-and-so is making me. You're wasting your life away if that's what you're doing. If you're giving into people, if you're giving into guilt trips and stuff like that because somebody's making you feel bad about something, get away from that person. Just completely cut them off. Everybody's responsible for their own happiness, and that's it. Period. End of story. If they're making themselves miserable, that's their doing. Okay, so I'm trying to think of a good example to give you guys, because some of you are really having a tough time with this. It's like, again, it's like that thing about everything is neutral. If that person, in other words, okay, say they said, like, how dare you break up with me? I know you have another girl that you like. So this is, a lot of these karmics actually sense that there is a girl that you have feelings for that they don't know about. And they're like, I know that you've got something else going on, or you're not good enough for anybody. You're never going to find somebody like me. And if they start doing all that kind of stuff, it's like, would you feel bad if they had gone and met somebody else and just took off and left? Or if they actually had a good attitude about all those same things and they were like, you know what? I've always felt like, if she were to be really honest, I've always felt like I really wasn't the one for you. So that actually just gives me confirmation. Thank you for not wasting our time anymore. I really appreciate what you've taught me and what you've shown me and how you've been there for me. I learned a ton from you. And I'm so excited now because now I can go find my true love. Like, you've inspired me to go do something for myself. If she were to have that attitude, you wouldn't feel guilty, would you? So then what's the difference? You were the same on your side. You didn't change anything. You didn't do anything different. She did, because she chose to look at it differently. So why would you guilt yourself because she's taking it the way she's taking it? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. So anyway, I hope this helps you guys. I really feel like this is where you guys are at right now. But here's the exciting thing. It's happening, If you're on the fence about reaching out to that person that you love, absolutely 100% do it. This is the time. Don't let your fear hold you back. You can tell her anything. You can tell her, I am so sorry. Just apologize. I'm so sorry for the way things have gone down. And I don't know what to say. I don't really have a good excuse. Apparently, I needed to learn some life lessons, And if she's an evolved person, which she probably is, because she's your divine feminine, she's a little bit more advanced than you at this stage. You can catch up real quick, and a lot of you will. But yeah, and that's the other thing I wanted to address too. A lot of divine feminines are into intuition, and they're high priestesses in the tarot. So they're pretty evolved, and they're becoming teachers, and they're writing books, and they're doing some pretty amazing things. They're getting on their life mission, and they're like on fire, right? But they don't always need somebody who's like them. They don't need somebody who's spiritual. They don't need somebody who's woo-woo and understands all the terms or any of that stuff. What she needs is somebody to be there for her to cry to, or to have made dinner, or I know that sounds like a role reversal thing, but seriously, like, they need support, just emotional support, and just you being there for them, just you being there, period, and reminding them they got to put oil in their car, and helping them keep on task, and helping them, just being like, did you get there safe? I talked to one feminine the other day. She was on her way. She was only traveling like an hour or something, and her masculine was like, I checked ahead and the pass looks fine. I was like, that is so perfect. That is so awesome. So don't listen to any of those stories that you're trying to tell yourself as to how it could go wrong, or wouldn't happen, or she wouldn't want you, or whatever that stuff is. Quit it. Just talk to her. Just see where she's at. It may end up that, it isn't what you thought, or your worst fear, but even then, you can get it off your mind and go forward with a clean slate and go somewhere else or find someone else or whatever. Face your fear, though. See what's on the other side of that door, and I think you're going to be very pleasantly surprised. All right. Have a great day, and talk to you the next time I put out one of these masculine videos. Thanks, guys, and thank you so much for coming to me, and thank you so much for opening up to me and sharing your own journeys. I'm going to be doing a video with Paul tomorrow, and he's going to talk about some of these subjects and how he's overcome some of these things on his path. He's a real male divine masculine, so it'll be kind of cool to hear his perspective. And I'm also going to be doing a workshop in the beginning of March, I believe. It's going to be for divine masculines and divine feminines. It's going to be local here. Think about an 1.5 to 2 hour drive from Boulder. I forget the name of the town, but it's going to be out in the middle of nowhere in a barn that's a really nice, sophisticated barn. And there's going to be 4 of us speakers, 2 divine feminines and 2 divine masculines. So if you would be interested in doing that and being a part of that workshop, just stay tuned. And maybe I'll put it at the bottom of this video, or I'll just talk about it on a future video. Anyway, have yourselves a great time. Oh, definitely get on Instagram. If you're not following me on Instagram, do that, because I give reports and updates for you guys on there. And that's just go to Instagram and put in a search for Amy Satori, and you'll find me there. All right, have a great day, guys. Bye.